The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Wrestling with Johners Live, episode 232, part of the Johners Podcasting Network. And I'm joined not just by one or two, I've got three amazing guests with us today on Wrestling with Johners. I've got none other than the Unforgettable Axton Ray, the Sultan of the Sky, Blanco Loco, and Dream Girl Ellie. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. And usually when I speak to an American guest, there's normally a big time delay with different time zones, but you're over here in the UK. How are you doing, first of all?
A little sore, a little beat down, you know, from all of us beating the hell out of each other and the fantastic UK talent. But overall, we've had a good rest day today, so we're pretty good.
Yeah. Absolutely. You've had a tough schedule. I think we discussed briefly off air. You've been over here 5 or 6 days. You've had a few dates already, I think, from the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, or thereabouts. So 3 or 4 dates already. How are you feeling? You say you're feeling a bit beaten up, a little bit sore, a little bit wary. How has the UK tour gone so far? Give us your rundown individually.
I'm gonna say I think it's been amazing, honestly. Every single show that we've done so far, the promoters have come up to us and been just, you know, absolutely fantastic. We've never had anything like that here before. You guys are just so different, and you're professional, and you know, just loads and loads of just positive feedback. And that's what we look forward to. In regards to kind of being sore, you know, it's one of those things like, yeah, it's a good sore. We're used to kind of a hectic schedule, but it's like we literally got right off the plane on the 24th and went straight for our first show. Wow. So there's been today's actually been our first day of like full rest. Everything else has been like get there, get to the show, do the show, get back to the hotel, rest for 3-4 hours maybe if you're lucky, you know, just because you got to get food because everything closes so early here.
It does.
So that kind of takes out the ease of finding, you know, food and everything like that. So it's kind of run around for food, and by the time you've done that, and then you get back to the hotel, you want to unwind. You're like, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to be up by like 6 or 7 to get breakfast again.
Yeah. But you've set yourself a pretty tough schedule when you've been wrestling in various parts of the UK so far. But before we break that down and get into that, I do want to say to anybody watching at home, if you want to send any questions in for Level X, the international superstars, then you can do. Please send your questions through on your chosen device. They'll ping through to us, and we'll do our very best to answer every single question live on air. But let's have a rundown of some of the matches. So you say you got over here on the 24th, didn't you? So what was your first show? And who were your opponents?
We went straight down to the Isle of Wight. If I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. By the way, to anybody that's watching this, if I mispronounced something, I profusely apologize. I'm learning. I promise.
You pronounced it perfectly. You pronounced it perfectly.
We had to take a ferry over with the car.
That was so freaking cool.
Yeah, they took care of that. That was pretty cool. And it was like being on a luxury cruise liner almost. It was like really, really cool.
Yeah.
But when we went over to Outcast Pro Wrestling, and they were lovely, absolutely lovely. Like they took care of every promotion is taking care of us, but. You know, that was our first experience, really, in regards to promoters and everything like that, really taking care of us. And the show was fantastic. It was a later show, so it was like we got off the plane at 8:30 in the morning. We went straight down. The show wasn't until 9 o'clock at night. So,
was you feeling a bit jet lagged? You must have been feeling a little bit jet lagged. Yeah.
So, Temple.
Tell them your favorite word.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me how you think the store's been.
So far, my favorite word that I think that is just amazing that you guys use quite often is
Don't you get
brilliant. I think I may even change my wrestling name to Brilliant.
Brilliant, yeah. That would
It's
be a
just such a
brilliant
great
name.
word. But I mean, overall for me, it's been great. This is my very, 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 very first time overseas traveling with our group. I mean, just as an individual, it's a lifelong dream to travel over here, and then also to be able to wrestle. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
it's been absolutely outstanding for me. It's been brilliant.
Absolutely. And then on the second day, the 25th, you were wrestling for, was it SOS? Wrestling
over at Harwich.
School of Slam.
Yeah,
and I've got a few images up here. So Ricky Knight Jr. versus Blanco, and Charlie May versus Axton. And I couldn't find a graphic for who Ellie was wrestling, but yeah, give us a rundown, because I know you said that Ricky Knight Jr. is not the type of wrestler that you tend to find in the States. Tell us why.
Say that one more time.
So Ricky Knight Jr., you were telling me off air that Ricky Knight Jr. is not the type of wrestler that you tend to find in the States. Tell us why.
So one thing that people should know about us is that a few of us, we've been training kind of old school. We have some training with Alpha Wild Samoan. We train with Matt Seidel, Ricky Morton. Same with Axton, you know what I'm saying? So like our mentality is kind of old school when it comes to like strikes, chops, any kind of hits or anything like that. So over in the US, there are a couple, maybe about a quarter of a percent that will actually hit you hard. So the moment that Ricky showed up, like we were talking back and forth and everything like that, and he's like, and again, this is I'm gonna do a British accent, just again, forgive me. Hey mate, don't be afraid. Lay him in. And I'm like, oh, yes. Yeah. And I'm like, please do the same with me. Please. Because I feel like it gives you that extra boost of just energy. You know what I'm saying? When somebody hits you hard, you're just like, yes, come on. Adrenaline, it really does. Gives you that extra adrenaline. And it's more satisfying to the fans, I believe, too, So, I mean, from legit probably the first 15 seconds of that match until almost 20 minutes later, we just beat the piss out of each other.
Wow.
And it was brilliant.
It was brilliant. It was stiffly brilliant.
And the thing is about those style of matches, the British fans love a good stiff contest as well.
I mean, you and Charlie May beat the hell out of each other too.
Yeah. Charlie May and I both, we went back and forth. I mean, the final shot, it was a draw. So neither one of us lost. He didn't lose, I didn't lose, but he did hit me pretty hard in the back of the head. Before we went out, he, failed to mention this whole time that he was a black belt in Kung Fu. So I was like, yeah, okay, don't hit But anyway, it was great. It was awesome. Yeah, Ellie, who?
I wrestled Vanessa.
Yeah, she wrestled Vanessa. It's supposed to be a triple threat. It's supposed to be Ellie versus Ava White versus Vanessa. Unfortunately, Ava had she had an injury occur. Unfortunately, best wishes to her.
Yeah.
But I think during her match, Paul T, the owner of SOS, came up to me and he's like, mate, he goes, they're beating the hell out of each other. And I was like, he's like, I love it. He's like, I love it. And I mean, Ellie's probably one of the most. I'm just gonna say the word stiff. We're just gonna call it stiff because it's correct terminology. Probably one of the stiffest workers out there. Safe but stiff.
I had the best story that came out of that match. Remember?
Go ahead.
So I punched myself in the face. And then I gave myself a black eye for the last couple of days. I don't even know what it looks like now. But I totally punched myself in the face in that match. So I don't know if that makes me kind of a badass or not the smartest.
I'd say so. Ellie, what about this match? So the following day, you went up against one of UK's finest, Ivy, for Southwest Wrestling. A great promotion. I've seen Ivy wrestle a whole ton in the last year. A great competitor. She always takes that bat out to the ring. Give us your thoughts on your match with Ivy, because she's one of my favorite female wrestlers over here in the UK.
So that is the first match that I won in England. so far. Just putting that out there. I had a blast. The fans had a blast. She tried using the bat, but it backfired. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you have to go watch it when it airs.
Absolutely.
There was another instance of where Pete Bainbridge came up to us, and he was like, "She's beating the piss out of her. She's beating the piss out of her." He's like, "I love it."
That seems to be a common theme. A common theme here.
It's a recurring theme.
Absolutely. And on the same, please go ahead.
That right there. Let me tell you something.
Banger.
Opening match, 20 minutes long. The House versus Level X. Listen, if you are not subscribed, and again, I'm putting something over right now. If you're not subscribed to SWW Wrestling on YouTube, then you are going to miss this, because this is a match that it's just 10 out of 10. I don't care what Meltzer says. Screw Meltzer. You know what I'm saying? Dave, I still love you a little bit. But let me tell you something.
Depends on the day.
Right here, fans were hot from the start to the finish. I'm not going to give anything away other than it was simply
brilliant.
It's got to be
really all I can
seen.
say about that match. And those lads are fantastic. I would fight them any day of the week, twice on Sunday, 3 times on a Wednesday, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, just fantastic. And I mean, they're set up. You guys have some of the best venues over here. We don't have venues like this over in the States. So, like, some of these venues is like, are just amazing. They're beautiful. They're the lighting just kind of gives you that ambiance of, like, very personal, very direct, I guess is the best terminology I can think of.
Very intimate,
Yeah, very intimate. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And the final graphic is with in the Insurgents show, OVW versus EWE, on the 20th. So 2 days ago. So the three of you were teaming up, a triple threat. Well, it was a say 3 versus 3, wasn't it? But that looks like a hell of a match. How did it go? And obviously, you representing OVW there as well.
So it ended up being an 8-man tag match.
Oh.
So we ended up getting John from Canada was over here. He ended up joining our team, and then Bullet was on the other team.
Bullet's a big old guy.
Him.
Bullet's a big boy.
Yeah,
big old guy.
Big old boy.
We don't like him.
So yeah, that was Terry Thatcher, and by the way, we love Terry Thatcher. Terry Thatcher is amazing. And he runs the OVW over here for the UK. So we came over, and again, another amazing venue. You walk in, it's like you walk into a pub and you're like, oh, look, where's this show gonna be at? You walk in the back and it's like 2 stories, cylinder, and it's just like, oh.
Do you know what I got told after that match? You were hitting people like they owed you money.
Yes. But again, a lot of great talent in there. Bullet, Rolf, who I heard is probably one of the best talents over here in the UK. The other guy wasn't on there. Rory, what? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm terrible. I'm sorry. The whole match changed a little bit, yeah, because.
But it sounds like a hell of a match.
And then Sapphire.
Yeah, sounds like a great match. And what's to come then? Because you guys are over here for another week and a half, I think, till about the 7th of April. Is that correct? Yep. So what do you have in store? If you remember the dates and the promotions, feel free to reel off where you're going to be over the next week or so.
So on the 2nd of April, we're at PCW UK, the PCW UK in Preston.
Wacky Rumble.
Yep, Wacky Rumble.
That's you guys.
It's Death Row. Oh. Ellie's going to be hitting off with Lizzie Evo.
That's one of the best in the country. Absolutely, Lizzie Evo. She's one of the best in the country. So that's going to be a great encounter.
On the 3rd of April, we're heading back to SWW over in Cardiff, Wales. So that's going to be a great show. And then the 5th and 6th is where we end our tour. We're ending with LDN.
Nice. Fantastic.
Southborough and Margate. Did I say that right? Margate?
You did indeed. Well done. And are you still open to? Are there any kind of last-minute booking opportunities? If there's any promoter that might be watching this, might be interested, and might have a gap for the international superstars of Level X, or are you kind of set in stone now? Your dates?
Well, we have April 1st currently available. After that, I mean, we do have available dates in between the week. Like I said, we're free this week. Like I said, up until like the Friday. Now through Friday, and then we have Monday available next week. And then, for seminars, learning experiences, everything like that, we're always available for those types of deals to kind of try to help out and kind of, throw our knowledge out there, places we've been, things we've done, and everything like that.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the fans then. I'm not sure if you've been over to the UK before. Axton mentioned just off air that this was his first trip over to the UK. So what would you say that kind of some of the key differences between the UK fans and the US fans? Anything that's really jumped out at you so far?
I learned this back in 2019 when we first came over. And one of my first matches was against Robbie X. Ooh.
Great wrestler, one of the best over here.
Fantastic. I get probably from the things that I've seen, people that again, me just wrestling him in general, and we still have a friendship where we talk and everything like that. He's probably one of the best workers over here. You know what I'm saying? That's just personal opinion. But the fans are way different over here. I feel like they respect wrestling so much that they are going to give you. They're going to give you exactly what you get to them. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing of being selfish. I feel, and again, U.S. fans, I've said it over the U.S. and I'll say it again, even if you're watching now, you're spoiled. The U.S. fans are very spoiled. They have, anywhere in one weekend throughout, the United States, they have probably anywhere from 100 to 300 shows running on one weekend throughout the entirety of the United States. Because there's so many promotions. So it's like they can pick and choose, and they always have an option for wrestling. Over here, I feel like there's not as many shows, you know what I'm saying? At least in the UK itself, in England itself. But, they're very well put on. And they appreciate their professionals a lot more in that sense, I do believe.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's a deeper love and appreciation, to be honest with you. Just from what we've gotten, from the fans here already.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, I mean, how have you been received by the audience over here? Obviously, you've got fans all over the world. You're building a fan base over here in the UK with this UK tour, but there was probably a lot of the fans that you've encountered on the shows you've been on that maybe weren't too familiar with you at the start of your matches, and by the end of it, probably fell in love with you. But what's been the general reception to you three guys over here in the UK from the fans?
They took to us right away, from the entrance, right from our entrance, which was absolutely lovely. Like, and to be honest with you, like we had talked before going out. We're like, okay, well, let's see how they react, And then we're like, okay, we go out and it's just boom, just right off rip, and we're like, oh, this is lovely. This is more than we could have hoped for.
Absolutely. And like I say, you've been over here 5-6 days. Have you had a chance to do any sightseeing? Go to our capital? Have you been able to go to London yet? Do any sightseeing or do any visits yet? Well, where have you been to?
So we stayed. So on the 27th, we did the London show for EWE, and then we went back to our hotel. The 28th, we woke up kind of early. We did our gym thing and everything. Then we went over to London. First stop was the London Eye, which of course and Axton's kind of been doing this thing where he does a back tuck. Axton, for those of you who don't know, is an all-American cheerleader. So he's the flippy guy. So he's tucking everywhere he can, just back tuck. So London Eye, back tuck. In front of Big Ben, got to see Big Ben, back tuck. So then we took a nice little stroll to walk over to Buckingham Palace. Got some pictures and stuff like that in front of it. And again, he tucked in front of the buck.
Tucked in front of the buck.
Sounds so weird.
And even some little kids were like, hey, can we do that again? I was about to start charging, My back was starting to hurt, my knees. It's going to have to be like 5 pounds per tuck.
There we go. You should have charged. There's a whole new line of work there, but that's awesome. We've had a couple of people that have reached out to us already who are watching live. Although it's going to come up as Facebook user, I know that this is Kim Artlett, the owner, the founder of Ignite Wrestling over in Florida. You definitely know when Ellie hits someone, she's a concentrated beast. So thank you, Kim. And one of the leading ring announcers over here in the UK, Mike Mad Dog Angus, good friend of mine, good friend of the show, says, great to see you all. I hope you're having a great time over here in the UK. So thank you, Mike, for getting in touch. And Ellie, I just want to throw it over to you. I noticed on your Twitter, you seem to be enjoying the UK cuisine, the UK food. You've definitely found some food that you've become popular with. Tell us about the UK food and what is it in particular that you enjoy about it?
So it's just, I don't know, it's just so much better. It's just even like we had like McDonald's like the first night we were here, and we were kind of like, oh, we don't really want this because we know how it is in America. But like after we ate it, plus you guys have the big, was it the Big Tasty?
The Big Tasty.
We don't have
So
that.
good.
We don't have that in America.
Okay.
But once we ate it, none of us felt like gross like we do over in America.
Yeah.
And your guys' chocolate is A1. I'm also trying to find Wonka bars because I read somewhere that they still exist.
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
England.
Yeah.
I haven't found them yet. I'm kind of sad.
Go to any major supermarket, maybe a Tesco or something like that. I'm pretty sure that Wonka bars exist in the big superstores.
Morrison's, and I couldn't find any in Morrison's, so we got to go to Tesco. I also read that if you guys go to if I went to a candy store that's labeled American candy, that somehow it'll be there. So. That's my goal for tomorrow.
Maybe. But the chocolate over here in the UK is very, very good. It's very, so very good. It absolutely is. Guys, I'm going to come back to you. We've got to throw an advert to our sponsors very quickly. 1310 Apparel, the excellent sponsors of Wrestling with Johners and the Johners Podcasting Network. And if you go over to their store at Wrestle Merch Central, you can see their very impressive range of apparel there, including their hardcore range, their lucha lines of t-shirt, beanies and hoodies there, and of course their more traditional 1310 apparel and Four Corners hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and of course if you visit their Big Cartel store or their Wrestle Merch Central store, you can see the exclusive Heidi Katrina design there, which is out and available now. And as a listener and a viewer to Wrestling with Johners, you can take advantage of our deal with 1310 Apparel by getting 10% off at checkout by using the discount code 1310WMC. And that's all by visiting 1310 store at Wrestle Merch Central. Just simply use the discount code 1310WMC. But guys, it's back over to you. Hopefully you've had a chance to have a breather. But I need to ask about the last year or so. And it's been an incredible year or two. And Ellie, I want to start with yourself because you've had, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've had 4 outings inside an AEW ring on AEW Dark and AEW the AEW Dark programs. Tell us about your AEW journey, because I think it started back in 2020, didn't it, when you was in a tag match against Ivelisse and Diamante. You've had a few other matches. I'm particularly impressed that you've had matches with Thunder Rosa. But give us your AEW journey as well over the last couple of years then, Ellie.
Okay, so I have to think about this. My first match was a tag match with Diamante and Ivelisse.
Yes.
Then it was Penelope. Then it was Thunder Rosa. And then it was Anna Jay.
That's right.
And
yeah.
Honestly, it's been like the coolest. I don't know how to even explain it. I don't know. It's just when you get like the email and stuff that like, hey, they want to use you. It's just this like, you get this nice, hey, like that's me. You get this nice like pride feeling. I don't know if anyone else does, but like I just get like really proud of myself because I feel like I've accomplished something that I've kind of always wanted to accomplish. And everyone there, she beat the hell out of me. I'm just gonna let you guys know.
That was a hell of a match. A very competitive match, I've got to say.
But everyone like there is just so nice and so helpful, and people will what is the word when you like, not critique, but
It's critique.
is it critique? Okay, they'll like critique you like afterwards and stuff, and they'll help you find ways to be a better wrestler. And I just feel like that's really cool, because there's a lot of people like indies now and stuff. People will just be like, "Oh, good job," but they don't tell you like, "Hey, you can do this to better yourself." And like AEW is very, very good at wanting you to better yourself. I don't even know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, they want you to better yourself.
Yeah.
So they're very supportive and lots of feedback and critique afterwards. But just being part of that setup and being part of, in an AEW ring, going up against, the very best female talent they have. And like I said, you did have some very competitive matches there. And that Thunder Rosa match was pretty damn good. I really did enjoy watching that back a couple of days ago. But what are your kind of overriding memories of those 4 matches in AEW?
Yeah.
Can I put over something real quick?
Go for it.
If you love that AEW Thunder Rosa match with Ellie versus Thunder Rosa, be sure to check out her YouTube page for a 30-minute banger that she had with Thunder at Imperial Pro Wrestling in Bristol, Tennessee.
Absolutely, and I've watched that one as well. It's a hell of a match. But how, if you were to sum up your AEW journey, then Ellie, what would you say? What was your overriding memory of your 4 matches there so far?
What's my memory from all 4 matches?
Your overall memory.
Yeah, my overall memory.
Your overall feelings.
I don't know. I'm just very, very proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that I got to do. Very honored. Is that the appropriate word?
Yeah.
Very honored that they that they chose me for those matches.
Absolutely, and I'm sure there'll be. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be many more to come as well. And just sticking with you for a moment longer, Ellie, if that's okay. But you've also had a couple of WWE experiences inside an NXT ring as well. I believe in 2020 you were part of the women's number 1 contender battle royal to crown the number 1 contender for the women's championship. So that must have been a hell of an experience. Some great talent in that ring. And then you had a singles match against is it Mei Ying from 2021 last year. So I'm guessing another really cool experience, but probably a totally different experience to what you encountered with AEW, I'm guessing.
In different ways, I feel like they're the same, but they do have their differences. With that, I died just within a couple minutes. I had nightmares. I'm not gonna lie. She
scary
crap
character.
out of me.
Yeah.
But with that battle royal, only thing I remember was I got yeeted. And I thought I was in the air for like 6 hours because Rhea Ripley, she's a beast. And she threw me out of the ring. And I thought I was flying. And
Wow.
I thought I was there forever.
Wow.
But,
yeah.
What was the other one? Oh, me versus Cora.
Cora, yeah.
But
Taya Valkyrie stopped.
I got bullied. Yeah. That one hurt.
Was that Cora Jade?
Yes. So Frankie
was that part of the
Monet,
2.0 era, I'm guessing?
She glam slammed me on the outside. And in case anyone's wondering, their ground hurts really, really bad.
Yeah.
That was not fun. No one hurt.
No. And to Axton and Blanco. I know, Blanco, you've had a couple of matches on AEW, and Axton, you teamed with Blanco against the Acclaimed. I know that, Blanco, you've wrestled the Acclaimed on a couple of occasions, but give us your AEW experience. Once again, pretty cool, a fantastic tag team, right up there in the AEW tag team rankings. But a couple of great experiences there for the both of you.
Oh yeah, I mean, Max and Bowens they're honestly they're top quality guys, just hands down. And you could just tell, just from their presence alone.
That's a great
Speedy,
picture.
we got you in there, baby. Let me just side note real quick before we talk about the match. So the photographer that took that picture, he takes all the pictures for everybody in AEW. His name is Speedy. Yep, that one too. He takes all the pictures for AEW, and his name is Speedy. And he's been working for probably a good, I want to say 10 years. About 10 years probably. And I've known him since he started. So he took some original pictures of Blanco Loco when he first came to Florida. So I used my first professional photographer that he did that stuff with. So it's been pretty cool to kind of see the evolution of both of us kind of coming up in the ranks. But back to like AEW, I mean, I've been there quite a few times. Like we were when they first started going on the road again after Jacksonville, down in Miami. That we were the first ones to kind of be pulled in for that. And even though I didn't get a chance to wrestle anybody or fight anybody, it was still an amazing experience because you're there, you know, and shout out to Sean Dean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you don't want people to know it's you, but they already know it's you, so it doesn't matter. Sean Dean for giving us the opportunity. AEW for giving us the opportunity. But it's I guess it's laid back. It's kind of more like relaxing to kind of be there. You know what I'm saying? It's not uptight. It's very.
It sounds like they want you to do well, don't they? They want you to
They really do. They want you. They want you to be the best version of you. They don't want to try to change you at all. You know what I'm saying? They want you to simply just be you and go out there and show them why people should care about you while still doing the job that's asked of you. Obviously, you know. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the atmosphere. I mean it was absolutely amazing. I've never really. I've done some stuff with Impact in the past, I mean the atmosphere going from indie shows to, I mean the big leagues. It's absolutely life changing. I think it lights a little fire under you as well once you see everybody getting signed. And I'll be a little personal here. Seeing people get signed that are your friends and you want that as well. And just being there, it's a motivation place. I mean, it's just so much motivation coming from all ends. I mean, from the agents, from the directors to just, I mean, the camera crew. I mean, everybody just all want you to look the best version of you.
Absolutely. And what were some of the biggest learning experiences of wrestling for a company as big and as well organized as AEW? Were there any kind of takeaway moments for you that you know that you probably didn't know beforehand?
From AEW or just bigger companies in general?
From AEW.
Always fight hard, Kim, because it can always move. No.
Being able to work the camera,
Not so much for me, just because I've done so much TV stuff before that. You know what I'm saying? Like during the entirety of lockdown, like when you know COVID happened and everything like that, WWE brought me in for every and Ellie for every Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, NXT. So it was like, you know, we kind of had like all that ready to go. So by the time AEW had, you know, become fully a thing and then was like, hey, we want to bring you in, you know what I'm saying? We're like, okay, sure. We have the experience. We're ready. You know what I'm saying? I can't really think of any big takeaway other than, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess unless, you know, like I said, what we've already said, like they're very one-on-one. They're very personal. Actually, that's a good one. That's actually They're very personal. So like they're not gonna. They don't just go up and talk to their sign talent. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they just walk up to sign talent. Hey, come here, talk to me. No, like
sign talent too.
Yeah, you know, saying something like everybody's there to elevate everybody. It's not just about one person. It's not just about one group. It's about, you know, the overall product by itself. So it's like, you know,
a well-oiled machine.
I'm gonna toss this out there. Colt Cabana. You know, after our match, you know, Colt Cabana came up to us. He was our agent. He kept to us like, hey, this, and this. You know, great job, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not going to specifics, but, you know, this, that, and that. And, like, normally, even like she was saying on indie shows, you know, most of the time, you know, a vet will come up to you and be like, hey, good job, kid. And it's like, got any feedback? Anything bad? Anything good? And they're like, oh, and you're like, no, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. No, they're like I said, they want the overall best product that they can possibly have. I think and that's any company really, but they really try to take it to the next level. I know what I saw what I did there. Yes, I did. In regards to making that happen, so.
Yeah, and that's really nice and really refreshing to hear that, because you hear, some negative stories about a certain other company where they don't necessarily have that one-on-one interaction and one-on-one kind of feedback.
No, that's not true. That's not true, though.
I mean, you've had some WWE experiences yourself. I mean, if I can pinpoint, you had a match with Damian Priest on NXT, and more recently, you're in a tag match against the Creed brothers, weren't you, on NXT 2.0? So some very, very interesting matches there. Give us your kind of your thoughts on your WWE experience, and please correct me with regards to the aftercare and the interaction with the talent.
So I mean, like I said, during COVID, WWE brought me in, had me do a slew of things. I was I don't know if anybody remembers Tozawa's Ninjas. I was on Tozawa's Ninjas. I did a cinematic match with the Street Profits and the War Raiders. That whole deal. That was great. I actually was on the fight set for the Bray and Braun swamp match.
Cool.
What was it?
I'm just reading the comments.
Oh, well, yeah, just I've done a slew of things. I've been honored to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, the recent matches as well. So, while they're not particularly interested in trying to, like AEW is about, the extra talent. They look at you, and I'm going to call it what it is. Wrestlers that come in and do their job. They are a bit more personal. Now, don't be wrong. Anytime that I've gone up to, say, Terry Taylor, I've gone to Finley, or whoever my agent is at WWE, even when Scotty 2 Hotty was my agent for a match, what I'm saying? I've gone up to him. He's taken the time and like, this is what I think. This is what I think 100%. Now, will everybody get the same experience? No. It's like going to McDonald's. Hey, you might go and you might get everything that's right in your order 100% of the time. But I might go and I might miss a cheeseburger of mine, which actually just happened, but still. So it's varying, and that's everywhere. It's the world the way it is. What I'm saying? Some people don't go up and ask. I've known a lot of guys that don't want to ask because they're like, oh well, I feel like maybe I'm going to be a burden. Don't feel like you're a burden to anybody. I don't feel that way. My thing is, if I don't ask these questions, I'll never get an answer. And I think that's one of the biggest things that happens sometimes is sometimes people don't ask the questions so they can't get the answers, so they kind of feel slighted that nobody came up to them. You got to remember, either or company, they're both billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
They're both going a million miles per hour. Everything backstage goes really, really fast. So a lot of the times, maybe they, don't get me wrong, I've had times at both places where they've, somebody hasn't had, necessarily the extra 2 minutes to sit down and talk with me. It happens. They're busy, and sometimes people, like I said, people get slighted a little bit by that, but I mean, it's also wrestling. We're independent contractors. I mean, let's be realistic about that. We chose a business that is very, very hard, and in every single aspect of it, promoting, to getting yourself out there, to making a name, to actually being in the gym, to buying gear, hell, to buy the right shoes is hard sometimes. Designing merch and everything like that. Every aspect of this is hard. So if we think, that as the independent wrestlers we have it hard, sometimes you got to look at the producers' jobs and be like, well, they probably have 8 to 10 matches that they have to go over. You know what I'm saying? And we just went out there and got our butts kicked in 3 minutes. I'm not really sure maybe if they're going to give, be able to take 5 minutes away when they're about to go run off and do the next thing, Especially with live television. It's very, very different from an indie show. I've never had a bad experience. Even, to be honest with you, I got to meet Vince McMahon. During the Bray and Braun swamp match.
How was that interaction?
But he showed up to check over the film and everything like that. And let me tell you something. The guy walked right up to me and shook my hand.
That's cool.
Like, didn't slight me at all. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm in their, I guess not even in their world. It's just like, in my mindset, my own mindset that I put myself in my mindset to Vince McMahon, I'm a nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's what I put that in my mind myself. Nobody else. Just thinking he's a multi-billionaire. He probably doesn't give a hell about me. Why would he? You know? But the moment he walked right up, he goes, "How's it going, kid?" So,
Now you're Vince McMahon.
that's my Vince McMahon. That's my Vince McMahon. And he also said goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was me and Jamie Noble that came up with the fight scenes for that. So he wanted to see who the ones were that came with the fight scenes and everything, and you know, and literally just, good job. All right,
that's really cool.
And then literally 2 seconds later, all right, on to the next thing. Let's go. And
That's really cool.
you know, it's just, you know, sometimes, like I said, there's a lot of misconception of
Yes.
what's actually real, and we're stuck in our mindset because we're easily trained to hate something because of a small indifference that we have. You know, I think wrestling is just wrestling. There's, you know what I'm saying? There's, again, and I've heard this saying so many times, but there's how many flavors of ice cream? You're not going to like them all. You know, wrestling's the same way. There's a million flavors of wrestling. You're not going to like them all. I'll never do a death match. But, you know, I'm not going to go online and say, you know, oh, screw death matches. No, because, you know, that's somebody else's forte. That's not mine. You know?
How did you turn into Yoda?
I don't know.
You really did just now.
Let's jump to some comments that have come through during this stream, and I'm going to have to find out who sent this one. Just go up his Facebook user, but Axton Ray is so talented and easily the best wrestler I've ever wrestled. I need to find out who that was from, but Matt McCallum, if you're familiar with Matt McCallum, and here we go. Blanco and Ellie are awesome as well. Thanks so much, guys, for the advice and experience. It's always appreciated. And I just want to remind you, if you're going to send through a comment, go to streamyard.com/Facebook, and that will allow your username and profile picture to come up on screen. Otherwise, you would just come up as Facebook user. But and there's also a lot of love for Axton. So Axton, the man, he should be signed already. So a lot of people absolutely loving you guys. Level X, more like level next to be signed. So
I like that little play of words.
Level next.
Absolutely. But we had some questions sent through before we went live tonight, and I just want to bring a few of them up if I can, from Facebook friend of ours, Matt Bayliss. So Matt asks, do you intend to come back to the UK? He's unfortunately been able to not been able to catch any of your shows, so he's keen to see the international superstars and Level X over here in the UK. I know you're in the middle of your current UK tour, but any kind of plans to come back next year, maybe?
So we're gonna come back later this year. We're gonna come back later this year. Yes. I was talking to Roth, and he was saying like the best time to come over is like probably like July to August. So the next time we come over, we're gonna stay for about a month next time.
That's awesome. So
that's definitely in the plans. We're gonna try to work on that and get more of a set schedule and talk to some promoters and everything. And then definitely plans to come back.
Awesome. And just on that, a little bit of a fun question and a curious question from me is you're over here, you've traveled thousands of miles for a 2-week tour of the UK. Now, for any holidaymaker, carrying 2 weeks worth of casual clothes must be a nightmare. But when you have to pack all your wrestling gear, and you don't travel light, do you? With the jackets, the kick pads, the masks, the headgear, the capes. You guys, I mean, you must have been carrying a hell of a lot of stuff through that airport, a lot of gear, a lot of luggage. It must have been hard to decide what to leave at home, I'm guessing.
It really was. It's actually funny because right before we left, we'd probably about a month before we left, I ordered a brand new set of gear. And it's so beautiful. It was supposed to be delivered the day we were leaving. It was like, because it got delayed in Mexico by 1 day. So I was very upset. So then, like, we were getting on the plane at 5 o'clock, and I got a picture of it that had been delivered, and I'm just like, oh. But I'd like to thank The Rock for making a backpack that is definitely easy to stuff into.
Gotcha.
So that was
Project 3 bag.
my Project Rock 3 bag. So yeah, that's definitely helped a lot. Axton wears trunks, so it's not as hard for him.
Nah, I wear underwear, man. I mean, you just fold those up. I stack them on.
Easy. But some of your gear is very impressive. I know, Ellie, your ring gear, and especially what you come to the ring in, is very impressive. Certainly the jackets and the capes and the headgear. Sometimes you don't travel light. Surely, I'm guessing that you've packed a fair few different styles of gear over here for the UK tour.
I think I know Axton packed basically all of his, but I think I packed 5 sets of gear.
Okay.
And deciding to leave with what I did at home, like it kind of felt like I was leaving like my child at home. I was just like, I want to bring this, but I was like, I don't have room to bring this. Like
if you had 5 kids, you had to pick just 3 of them.
Yeah. Not an easy
choice.
choice.
My dog at home for 2
Another quick question, once again from Matt Bayliss, and thank you for sending in your questions, Matt. But who from the UK indie scene do you rate highly and want to face off against?
Go ahead. You can go first.
I would love to wrestle Dean Allmark.
Wow. Yeah, I love Dino. Big fan of his over here. Got to know Dean very well over the last couple of years, but he's a technical wizard.
Most definitely. I study him like a hawk. I mean, he is just amazing. His movements, from his just entrance persona. I mean, he just comes out and you know that he's ready to work. I love him. I wish and hope one day I get to step in the ring with him.
There we go. Well, we've put it out into the universe, so it's got to happen.
I'll add one more person to that.
Go for it.
And it will happen. It will happen very soon because I can feel it in my bones. I want to have a one-on-one match with Roth.
Alexander Roth. Yeah.
Yes.
A great UK talent.
He was very good. We had a little sequence in our match on Sunday, and we absolutely killed it. And he's an amazing athlete, and I hope very soon that we get to have that one-on-one. I think they're just the talent over here is just amazing.
Incredible. They're brilliant.
Absolutely.
They're brilliant.
So I'm gonna pop in here.
They are brilliant.
I'm gonna go center screen when I say this. Okay. So I'm gonna say what everybody else is already thinking. Okay. And I'm sure you've had a bunch of people say it already, but obviously, Will Ospreay.
Amazing.
I'm gonna say it. Everybody wants it. But realistically, Jody Fleisch. Please say I said that right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
I do want another banger with Robbie X, obviously.
Yeah.
And tag teams. Level X, Aussie Open.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or Level X and the Velocities.
Okay.
Velocitors.
Not too familiar with these.
Not Velocitors, that's the car.
Velocities? What is it?
I know you're talking about.
Am I saying it right? Velocitars?
Not familiar with that team, I've got to be honest, but there's a whole host of awesome teams over here in the UK for sure, and I'm sure that many of them will be throwing themselves at your next set of bookings when you come over here in the summer. Let's have a quick look at. So I need to ask you guys: do you watch much wrestling? I know this week is probably the biggest week on the wrestling calendar with WrestleMania over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, a whole host of shows and wrestling action in Dallas, Texas. I'm obviously sporting my New Orleans t-shirt when I was over in the States 4 years ago for WrestleMania 34.
You were there for which one was it? Which one? Was it
30.
That was the one where Rousey made her debut
Okay,
against Triple H and Stephanie.
no,
Brock versus Roman in the main event, where Roman bled quite heavily. But I've got to ask you, I mean, where's your interest level with WrestleMania being around the corner and all the various shows that surround it? And anything that's catching your eyes, kind of match-wise, anything you're particularly looking forward to?
FTR versus the Briscoes, most definitely.
Yeah.
That's gonna be amazing. That's
awesome. Super Card of Honor, isn't it? On the Friday or Saturday.
To be honest with you, the entire Super Card of Honor I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely.
We're definitely gonna be watching that. So I've done a lot of Mania weeks, to be honest with you. I've done a lot. I've done everything since the last time they were in Dallas.
Yeah.
2017?
Was it 2007?
6 years ago. Yeah.
6 years ago. That was my first Mania week, and I've been at every Mania week since. With WWN/Evolve and everything like that, doing their shows, and then Kaiju Big Battle. So it's definitely something that's fun to do, but it's also that's one of the reasons why we kind of came over here this year. Instead of doing, like, we opted out of Mania week. And I feel like this year it's just a little bit too crazy. There's too many shows. And usually I'll never say that, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, more wrestling for everybody is a good thing. But when you have 7 different shows running in one time slot,
Yeah.
each time slot for a 3-day period, it's just too much sometimes. Especially for the indie wrestlers, and especially for the fans, because now you're creating that demand that they choose. So, and sometimes, and for somebody, it's not going to work out very well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Mania Week, I mean, it's still a special thing, to be honest with you. It really is. You know, you can make so many connections, create so many memories. I know I have. I really have. It's been a blast. I mean, me and Axton in Tampa, last year, right?
Yep.
Last year in Tampa, we ran a co-op show together, and it did fantastic. It was an amazing show. First show that I've ever ran by my, you know what I'm saying, by me, and, you know what I'm saying, he jumped in and helped me. So it was like, you know, like, Pile Driver Pro. Make sure you check it out on Facebook. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely very, very hard. But I don't know. You guys want to jump in here? And cut me off, please.
Yeah, no. Like he was saying, just to put over Pile Driver Pro real quick, it's based out of Tennessee, and we put on one heck of a show last year. We had a stat card from top to bottom. We had all the flavors of ice cream in one show. We had female talent, we had male talent, we had triple threats, we had death matches, we had Kaiju Big Battle, heavyweights, high flyers, all the above. And I think, teddy bears.
Well, a show wouldn't be complete without teddy bears, would it?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a very good experience for me. Last year, you know, of course, I only did the Pile Driver Pro Wrestling show last year in Tampa because I just was coming down just to check it out, see how it was. It was my first Mania that I performed at. But overall, I think that we love the atmosphere. Like he was saying, to add on to him, you know, having so much wrestling in one time spot, it could take away somewhere. And that's where he was getting at with it. It's like it's going to take away from somebody somewhere. And with us, we did extremely well with the house. The crowd was, I think what we did, 300 people. And yeah, that was very good for us coming in. It was a catchy title. I think that's what got a lot of people talking about it. It was Once Upon a Time We Blew the Budget. It was great.
Ellie, we need a second tell about your WrestleMania story. How you performed at WrestleMania?
How we did? How we did? Go ahead, you finish yours.
But anyway, so this year, you know, looking at going back to what you had asked earlier about the Mania card, and the surrounding shows, you know, I'm going to kind of go fanboyish here, and I'm interested to see Roman versus Brock. I think this storyline has played out so well. I'm very interested to see what's next, what's going to happen. You know, unfortunately, my guy, Undertaker, is not going to be performing this year. That's super sad to me. And to add on top of that, Stone Cold is coming out of retirement.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, this doesn't get much better than that. I mean,
he's getting so into this.
Yeah. Right? Oh, man, Stone Cold. I mean, growing up in the part of the United States that I did, Stone Cold was a hero, is an icon. And, you know, the way he just was like, oh, You want to talk about Texas? You're going to get Texas. You're going to get all of it.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm sure it'll be so much more than just a KO show. I want to see a full match, but for sure. And Ellie, any matches you're looking forward to in particular?
Oh gosh, I can't. I'm sorry. What?
Are there any matches or any shows that you're looking forward to as we get closer to Mania week?
The Ring of Honor show looks really good with
For sure.
Mercedes Martinez and Willow. That looks really good because I got to train with Mercedes. Go ahead.
You're fine, go ahead.
Okay. I got to train with Mercedes once or twice, and she beats the hell out of you, but like
She's
in a good
badass.
way. Because you learn so much, and Willow's just so fun to be around and such a great wrestler. So I think the whole Ring of Honor card, like they were saying, is definitely
A+.
Yeah, it's definitely
Absolutely.
a plus.
It's
Absolutely.
Don't you dare.
It's brilliant.
It is brilliant, and I'm curious to know, how did you guys become acquainted in the first instance, and when did you first, and how did you first kind of form your
You guys,
This is
you
my-
guys got this.
your
You guys
team?
got
My
this.
So
favorite story
when
to
did
tell.
the international superstars first form, and when did Level X first form, and when did you first become acquainted with one another? Give us the backstory behind those two teams.
So this is my favorite story because Blanco hates it. So Blanco and I were at a show. I'd like never met him a day in my life, and we were at a show when I first started wrestling. I was maybe like 2 matches in, and they had gotten this new gear. Him and a previous tag partner of theirs had gotten this brand new gear, and it matched my gear. Like I think it was like the same fabric it was made out of, type of thing. Like it was identical, and I never talked to Blanco a day in my life. And I randomly just went up to him. I was like, hey, we have matching gear. I have to join the team now. And he looks and then he just walks away. Doesn't say a word to me. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe that didn't work the way I thought it was going to work. I didn't really think anything. I didn't think it through. I was like, hey, this is funny. So then after the show, he had come up to me and he's like, hey, we're going to like Alabama this weekend. You can jump in the car if you want, like start training with us and traveling with us. And I was like, cool. And it's been like 3 years and he's can't get me out of the car now because he's tried and he can't kick me out. So
And
that's all
Axton,
it is.
yeah, and Axton, I understand that Level X formed more recently than that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so about
A year ago.
about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, Level X formed. The crazy thing about that was Blanco and I had knew each other because we've wrestled so many locker rooms together, but we never actually worked together until over a year ago, and it was crazy. We had been brought in and we worked each other a total of 8 times in 1 month. 8 times in 1 month. That was pretty impressive to me. We both just was like, hey, you're good. I'm good. Let's form this team. And we started brainstorming on a name, and I mean, here we go. We became Level X. We are next level. I mean, we literally just got to putting our heads together like nothing.
Sorry, the way you just slid in and popped me.
None of these talents, like we at the time, were like really doing anything, and we wanted to not only up our level but up their level. You know, we wanted to elevate everybody.
Yeah, the tag team scene was kind of lackadaisical at the time. In the U.S., so we definitely figured that we were the best bet to kind of go next level. Plus, I'm a big Marvel fan, so if anybody knows that Level X is actually one of Deadpool's team's names, so I'm a huge Deadpool fan. I really am.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Along with
And
Pokemon.
One thing that's really jumped out at me doing my research is that both teams, whether it's Ellie and Blanco or Blanco and Axton, they really complement one another very, very well. Your styles are very dynamic, very athletic, very smooth as well. Your action in the ring and quite impactful. But do you work a lot on your in-ring work as your tag teams, tag team offense and things like that, because it comes across so smooth and so crisp, but like I say, quite exciting and very innovative as well. There's a lot of innovative moves between the three of you.
So sometimes, so I will say this. So me and Axon have gotten to this point where it's literally mid-match. We could be looking at each other and be like, not say a word. Got you. Just like that sometimes. In regards to like practice, I mean, some of the moves we do, but a lot of the time it's just like I'll say something, he'll be like, you know what, I had the same idea, but what if we do this to tweak it? And it's like, yes, it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of give and take. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make something, just take it this little bit and put it in this little bit, and then it just turns into this. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I guess it's just
all the mini lion bots.
Yeah. Come together to form one giant robot, defender of the universe. And it's the same thing with Ellie. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, my offense with Ellie just kind of throwing her at people.
Yeah, can we change that? Can
no,
I start knowing you?
No, we can't.
Please.
No, keep on doing your squats one day, maybe.
Oh man.
But no, she's actually she comes up with a lot of our tag stuff too. She has she's gotten to the point where she's becoming very innovative on her own. It's just, she still is very young in the wrestling game, and a lot of people, don't realize that because of, she's done so much. She's 3 years in, she's done so much. There's people out here that look at her and like, what? I thought she'd been wrestling for about 6-7 years already. Like, no, it's only been 3. And Axton is probably one of the most well hidden gems in America. And he's finally starting to people are finally starting to take notice of him. You know what I'm saying? And again, people, I've seen the comments, Axton Ray should be signed. I 1000% agree with you. And, what I'm saying? Again, whether it's I get signed, Ellie gets signed, Axton gets signed, we get signed as a group, we get signed separately, no matter what, the whole intention is that we want each of us collectively to do well, whether it's on their own or all together, Axton, and can I say something about it right now? About that thing on April?
Yeah.
April 30th, Axton Ray will be making his GCW debut.
Very cool.
In Atlantic City. So be sure you check that out. Get your tickets for that. Check out the Game Changer Wrestling website to get your tickets for that. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Some tough stuff we can't really talk about right now, but you'll see when it happens. I promise. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. Well, just keep posting and sharing on the Wrestling with Jonas Facebook group so that we can all find out about it for sure. Very, very quickly, before we jump into the final set of listener questions, I've got one quick question. OVW. I know OVW's very, very close to all of your hearts, and has been a big part of your last year or two. To be honest with you, you've done a tremendous amount of work for OVW. I think is it Louisville? OVW are based nowadays, and obviously you got Al Snow keeping a keen eye on things over there. But give us, in a nutshell, your OVW experience, because it is probably your probably home for wrestling at the moment. It's where you're wrestling more than anywhere else at the moment. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%. We're there pretty much every single Thursday night. It's available live on Fight TV for free, so you have no reason not to watch people. And just, being there and learning from Al, learning from Doug Basham, learning from people like Jesse Goddard, being able to be in the same ring with people like Omar Amir, Star Rider, Gustavo, all these people that, and again, it's just like, for me, it's been a learning experience, because I feel like, well, I don't feel like it is. It's actual TV. You know what I'm saying? It's exactly how they do it in the bigger feds, AEW, NXT. And it's getting you prepared for that. Like, they always tell you, like, this right here is to get you ready to step up to that next level, and they really are. They're preparing you in every way. from promos to TV time to understanding TV time to understanding break spots to understanding, you know what I'm saying, everything of why they do what they do and where they put you. It's just an overall learning experience, and it's been amazing. I can't, you know, for me, I can't thank them enough. I'm gonna slide out of the way. They can tell you theirs.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, obviously, I've joined up with OVW here recently and haven't been as, you know, active as Blanco or Ellie, you know, but here recently they have just putting us on every Thursday. We are just going all the way to the top in the OVW tag team division. Ellie, you want to tell me about the women's division?
Yeah, sorry, I zoned out for like 2 seconds. So the women's division for OVW is incredible. We have our current champion is from Alaska because she's big and scary. Her name's Freya. We have people from West Virginia and Tennessee and Illinois, and Wisconsin. So we have people from all over, and it's just, I don't want to use the word evolving because I've used it a million times, but the women's division is evolving and just getting better and better each week, and it's definitely something you want to check out.
100%.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just to add on that, you know, one thing that I do, and I want to say this, they are not afraid to give you feedback. They will give you positive, negative, and, you know, there's no malicious intent at all in it. It's just all they want you to get better. And I have come to love OVW very, very, very much. Like you said, it has become our home at the moment. It has been nothing short of a blast. I mean, this experience in wrestling, you know, I get to work with Booker T down in Reality of Wrestling. I worked for him for quite a while. And the way OVW and ROW, well, they don't like that. The way the Row put their shows on together, the way they tell their storylines, it's preparing you. It's like school. They prepare you to be on that highest of levels. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Absolutely. And you said that it's available for free on Fight TV as well.
Yes, the Fight TV app. You can look it up. Ohio Valley Wrestling. I think he's going to slide back in.
Yep.
I think he's going to slide back in.
He's been man.
There we go. Seamless. You would never have known. I want to drop a quick picture on screen and give us your thoughts when you see this one here. Level X versus the legendary Rock and Roll Express. I mean, come on. That must have been September last year, I'm guessing. An amazing experience, a fantastic opportunity. Two legends of the business. And if you love tag team wrestling, you must love the Rock and Roll Express. And to be in the ring with those two guys must have been an absolute blast. And Ricky Morton sent out a pretty cool tweet as well about what a cool experience it was to face the two of you. Give us your thoughts thinking back to that match there, the Rock and Roll Express. I mean, come on,
legend.
Yeah,
just simply like I could sit here for the next hour and just tell you how amazing it was to learn from Ricky and Robert. You know what I'm saying? Like we had the opportunity, and you more so than I did. You know what I'm saying, to learn about tag team wrestling from Ricky. And when Robert was in the area, Robert was always trying to give us bits and bobs about just, you know, how to be just this much better. Even if it's just this much, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even if I can make you that much better of a wrestler, I'm going to. Yeah. And
to have those guys from that era that know the business better than anybody pull you aside and see something in you and want to make you better, it's a feeling that you never forget, you know, and it's unforgettable. Anyways, but, you know, with like he said, you know, I got to experience a lot of learning under the learning tree of Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, a lot of the old school talents. And I think that, I mean, that match alone meant a lot to me because, you know, I have obviously, I've had a lot of encounters with Ricky Morton in the past, but as a tag team wrestler, going up against the Rock and Roll Express, it's like childhood dream, you know?
I was gonna say it's a goal. It's something to check off the list, and not even just check off the list, but it's like you grew up as a kid and you watch these guys on WWF, and you watch them on WCW, and you're like, man, if I ever get a chance to be a professional wrestler, I want to wrestle them. And then you start being a wrestler, and little things start to happen, and then all of a sudden you think, man, if I went back to my younger self and I was like, hey kid, one day you're gonna wrestle the Rock and Roll Express, I'd be like, piss off, get out of no way. Even half the stuff that I've done, I've looked at myself back then and be like, there's no way. But I mean, it was humbling, to be honest with you, because they don't take every single match that's thrown at them. They really don't. That's one of the things that I respect about Ricky and Robert so much is it's not like they just they say yes. It's got to be something that they want to do.
Yeah. 2,
that makes sense for them, and 3, that they feel that they can leave some kind of legacy for the next, the next generation. And that's something, like I said, in that tweet, it was, I didn't know that Ricky was going to say that. Or Robert. I never knew that they were going to actually do that. Exactly. It was humbling more than anything. It actually, I lost my breath for a minute when he said that.
I was like, up a little bit.
I was like, oh, my heart.
You saw the mask get a little damp on
a little damp.
Yeah, a pretty cool moment, and like I say, to have that opportunity in the ring with them, and like I say, the feedback and the tweet afterwards, pretty damn cool. We're going to finish on some listener questions that have come through ahead of time. Matt Bayless, he sent in a few questions. Here's another one of his. Having watched a lot of clips and matches on social media and YouTube against opponents he doesn't really know, who else on the US Indies would you encourage people to go and check out?
Individual, I mean, I could name a lot.
For hours.
Yeah, I could name a lot of people individually, but I will say this: I'll shout out some companies.
Go for it.
That have great rosters. Make sure you check out AML Wrestling. They're based out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Make sure you check out Imperial Pro Wrestling. Make sure you check out, obviously, GCW. That's a great one. Joe Kazana Promotions. Viral Pro Wrestling. Innovate. Again, Chicago style pro wrestling. Berwyn Championship Wrestling. Pretty much. Anything that you've seen me post, anything like a flyer that you've seen me post, if it's on my Facebook, it's an amazing company, and go watch the entire show, because the entire show, 99.99999% of them, all the matches are good. You know what I'm saying? I could be here for hours putting over talent, you know what I'm saying? And but at the same time, it's
that's
a very, very long list.
Completely understand. That's another segment for a whole other podcast, possibly. But so you mentioned Chicago style wrestling, and Steve Aaron has been in touch. I think he's the play-by-play guy, and I think he plays the on-screen general manager as well. Great guy, Steve. We've had him on the podcast. He says, hello, Ellie, Blanco and Axton. First off, thanks for your incredible work at CSW. He has 3 questions, so these will have to be quick fire, Steve. So first question for Ellie in particular. During the last show, some of your faithful CSW fans brought you 2 gigantic pizzas to enjoy. What is the most spectacular gift you have ever received from a fan besides the pizzas?
Oh gosh.
Your Switch, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I got a Switch off my Amazon wish list for my birthday or Christmas. That was really cool.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And for Blanco, in the 2 out of 3 Falls Tables match versus Joey Avalon, when you put him through the table and the ref went through the table as well, should that have been counted as a fall? Now,
I believe so, and I should be the new CSW heavyweight champion right now.
That's exactly what Steve reckons. Steve reckons that you are the uncrowned CSW heavyweight champion, for sure. And we wrap up with a question from Steve for all 3 of you. The international superstars have quite a following in the Chicagoland area. Do you think that you'll come back at some point?
Guaranteed.
100%. It's got to happen, isn't it? Yeah.
Remember, this way, not this way.
Yeah. My bad. He's still learning.
That's cool. Another question from Matt Bayless. How important is social media to get over in modern wrestling?
Very.
I hate to say, I hate to say it, but it's important. Like I despise Twitter because I think it's a very, very toxic app. Or at least the people that use it is very, they use it for toxic purposes. But I mean, here's the thing. No offense to anybody else. They all do pretty decent on their social medias and everything like that. But I run the International Superstars page for Facebook, Blanco Loco, Level X, my personal page. I have the Instagram, the Twitter, and then the Level X Twitter. So it's definitely important. So I'm, it's sometimes hard to keep up with, but it's definitely in the modern day era of technology. If you want people to know who you are, you want them to know where you'll be. It's 100% important.
Awesome. And we'll ask you for a rundown of all your socials at the very end. A couple of final questions from Kim Artlett, the owner, the founder of Ignite Wrestling in Florida. Would like to know who they faced that surprised them in a match. So have you faced anybody in any of your matches that surprised you in any way? Either, they were better than you expected, or but however you interpret that question, Kim would like to ask.
Go ahead.
So a fellow that, I mean, just absolutely blew me away. And I'd never, and I hope if he's watching this, he doesn't, take anything. This is just, I'm so impressed by him. Victor Logan. Victor Logan is a member of the Outcast Pro Wrestling roster. And, upon arrival, I had no idea who he was, what he was capable of, but once we stepped foot in the ring together, he showed me that he was there to wrestle. And I just have to put him over. Victor Logan, I think his social is It's Me. It's all about me. And I think that you all should check him out. He has a very, very bright future. He has some things that I think that he can give to the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Very good. And if I may, Victor Logan's actually sent in a question, which was a strange coincidence, a cool coincidence. Whilst have been on the UK tour, what's your top 3 favorite moments, whether it's food, sights, funny moments, crowd reactions, chants, match, anything? So maybe if you want to give one each, but Victor has actually sent in a question there.
All right, I'm going to go with mine real quick. Mine has been the fact of having all 3 crowds that we've been in front of so far chanting Pikachu. Just deafening Pikachu chants.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Ellie.
Mine's so great. There was a Build-A-Bear down by Icon, London Icon eye gimmick thingy. The wheel, the eye. And I don't know why that popped me, but I saw it, I got really happy, and then I bought stuff.
Not to put Victor over just because he's right here, but I think my favorite moment so far is hitting you with the backflip powder and pinning you, buddy. I mean, see, thought I was going to put him over, but I actually put myself.
There we go. And Victor says, thanks, Axton. So Victor is...
a bunch of hearts.
There we go. So final question, and it goes to Kim Artlett once again from Ignite Wrestling. Who would you like to work with, or what titles would you like to hold in the next couple of years? So have you got kind of a wish list of maybe opponents that you'd like to face down the line, whether it be over here in the UK or the US, and any titles you might have your eye on also?
Everyone and every title. We definitely want to work with WXW over in Germany. OTT, because I've heard that they've got some of the top tag teams over there.
Oh, yeah.
Rev Pro definitely is a big one, especially since right here in England. Progress Wrestling, of course, because that's on everybody's list, let's be honest. And, of course, we know that you guys have the best talent. Realistically, everywhere. Everywhere. We're in Tokyo. We want to do Japan. We want to do Australia. Definitely back in the States. I mean, there's still so much untapped talent that we haven't faced yet, and we're ready for everybody.
I have a goal in the States, and it's to wrestle in North Dakota.
Why in particular?
Because of that question. Because why? So because it's just North Dakota. It's just I can't explain it.
Just to kind of build off that, I mean, that's us as a group. We are we are just ready to fight, ready to wrestle forward. We're ready to work. That's what we love to do. We love this business. We want to work. And it doesn't matter who it is, where they are, what title they have. Level X, international superstars are going to come to put in work. International level Xers.
Absolutely. And I don't know about a UK tour. It sounds like you've got some world tours to look forward to in the future for sure. Absolutely. And just a final question for me. What is the fascination with Pokemon? I have to ask.
Yeah, Blanco, please.
Because and is it something that's taken up some of your baggage allowance in your bag from the flight over to?
Oh yeah.
All of it.
Hold on.
He's sleeping.
I have heard about an obsession with Pikachu.
This is on my gauntlet.
That's cool.
My biggest thing is like I grew up kind of a nerd. I really did. I love video games. Most of my gear is inspired off of video games. Mostly Kingdom Hearts.
Turn your head around.
Oh.
He's like, I can't.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So I guess just like I don't know. Pokemon for me was always like a challenge series. It was, starting off in a what? Oh. No. Haha, Fanny Pack.
There you go.
It's just like the basic story of a kid that starts off and he has to go and he has to, prove himself and he gets to have his best friend by his side. Well, I got my best friend Pikachu by my side. Sorry, guys. You're all
seriously.
You're all second.
After all these years,
you're all second and third.
The truth comes out now. The truth comes out now.
You can figure it out amongst yourselves. But I'm just a big nerd. I love video games. I love comic books. I love all that kind of stuff. And I feel like it helps me to kind of express myself once I put the mask on. I can kind of just be myself over the top and not have to worry about it and let that expression come out more.
Oh yeah. I've got to be honest with you. I don't understand it, but it's not my thing. It's not my thing. But guys, as we start to wrap up this episode of Wrestling with Johners, an opportunity now for you to throw out any socials. Where can the listeners and the viewers of Wrestling with Johners reach out to you, say hi, get to learn more about Level X and the international superstars? So throw out your socials, guys.
Ellie's going to do that because she's the best at it.
Go for it, Ellie.
You just can't remember your own. That's
I can't.
All right, for Twitter, for me, this is Ellie with underscores in between. For him, his is Axton Ray 96. For Blanco's, his is Real Blanco Loco. For Instagram, mine is, again, this is Ellie with underscores. His is Axton Ray. And Blanco's is the Blanco Loco with 2 E's. And for Facebook, it's the Unforgettable Axton Ray for now until he changes it to the Brilliant.
The Brilliant.
Mine's the Dream Girl Ellie. His is the Sultan of the Sky Blanco Loco. We also have a Facebook page for the International Superstars. We also have a Facebook page for Level X. And we also have a pro wrestling tees under the International Superstars.
And Level X.
That's awesome. And I think you deserve 2 more gigantic pizzas just for remembering all of those socials. So there we go. You're going to be treated to some good English grub pretty soon. I'm sure that'd be brilliant. But guys, it's been amazing speaking to you. I really appreciate your time. You've got clearly an exceptionally bright future in North America and pretty much anywhere you decide to call home. But I just want to thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you
so much, brother.
You're very welcome. And thanks to everybody that sent in questions. We've had a lot of fun answering those, but we'll catch you again soon. Thank you.